Hey, I'm Kathleen Panning, and I am super excited to share with you the news that I have just finished recording all of season 2 and 3 of my podcast called The Tilted Halo. And by the way, season 1 is already running, and it's available for you on all of the major podcast platforms and your favorite ones, so please go and watch that. Created this podcast because I needed to share my voice, and I've been doing a radio show, weekly radio show for 5.5 years, mainly interviewing other people, having a great time doing it, getting to meet some awesome people along the way, but not really sharing a lot of my voice and what I have to say and things that I've learned along the way. And this podcast is for all of us who are in some sort of leadership position, people of faith, especially those of us who are women. But men, there's stuff here for you too. So you're welcome to listen and share this. But as people of faith and leadership, we often feel like we're supposed to have a halo on, and it's supposed to be on real nice and straight and all nice and shiny, when the truth of the matter is, we know that many times it's a little bit askew, tilted. Sometimes it even slips a little bit more than that. And when you listen, you're going to hear about all kinds of different things that are true and important, and for those of us in leadership at faith. And even if you're in business and a person of faith, this is also for you. Talking about so many of the issues that we face and how it can be a medium in whatever we're doing for sharing more of God's love and the challenges and the issues that come up along the way. And right now, I'm excited to share with you the introduction to season 2. It's going to be a clip of that, not the whole thing, but a piece of that. So watch and you will see part of season 2. Welcome back to season 2 of The Tilted Halo. And I'm going to talk today about running on empty. Have you ever felt that way? I know that I have. I remember starting out in ministry, and I started out with a bang right out of the gate with 14 funerals over a period of 14 weeks. And that included over the time of Lent and Easter. And by the time I got to Holy Week that year, I was really, really drained. And I actually came down with the flu on Palm Sunday that year. So spent much of Holy Week in bed. But it was, by the end of those 14 weeks in May, it was a time when I really felt drained. I was beginning to wonder if I would ever make it through ministry, period, for even a year, if I could survive that, because I felt like I was running on empty and didn't have a whole lot left to give. And part of it was needing to take some time off and some self-care, yes. But there's also this kind of myth, perhaps, that occurs within most of ministry, that we always have to be ready. We always have to be on top of the game, ready for everything and anything that might come our way. And there are days when those kinds of things happen. We all know one phone call, that's all it takes. A phone call, a knock on the door, and the whole day can be rearranged. Everything that was planned can just go out the window because there's an emergency. There's a need that we had not anticipated. And so we feel like we got to be ready, got to be able to go, got to be ready for every meeting, every Bible study, every Sunday morning, everything and anything that can happen along the way. And the truth is, we're not always ready. At least I know I wasn't. And there were times where I began to feel like I was running very much on empty. And so what happens when that in those times? Well, if we're going by that thought that we always have to be ready, then we kind of get down on ourselves on top of feeling like we have nothing left to give. And that doesn't help anything either. We might take some time off, which is a good thing, to do some good self-care. But even within Scripture, there's this idea that we always have to be ready. That's the clip. Now, there's a lot more on that show, and there are many, many more episodes to come. Things about gratitude, claiming God's great potential for yourself and your congregation, being positive in our often so negative world. Why learn and tell the full story of your faith community? Not just the data and history points, but the whole story. Marriage and ministry, tolerations, learning to not be so much of a lone ranger and work as a team, dealing with criticism, negative feedback, growing your ministry with God's true love. Here's a good one. Small thinking that kills ministry. What is your true message? And is that what people are really hearing? What you think they are? Hard choices and dealing with them with compassion. Shoot first, learn later. All of the judgments we have and how literally deadly they could be. Needs are never short-term, and what makes a difference? Love. Love is native for all people. We are all immigrants with love. How to minister to both sides when there's a conflict, and how to ethically and responsibly honor your congregation and your community, multiplying your resources through collaboration, ministry and technologies, this kind of stuff, balancing tradition and innovation in your ministry, and also things about interfaith cooperation and collaborations. And then a little bit also about the demands of ministry and family and balancing all those responsibilities. Here's what I hope this gift gives to you. A time to reflect, a time to think, be challenged a bit on some of these things, but also a way to know that you're not alone in this. Number one, that God's love is there for you, even when the halo's kind of tilted, and that there's always more for each of us to learn and room for us to grow. We're not a finished product. God's with us all the way. God's with you. So I'm excited to share with you season 1, which is on now, and also that seasons 2 and 3 are coming right up. Thank you.